Good morning, traders and investors around the world, and welcome to Thursday's edition of premarketinfo.com, where we prepare you for the most important hour of the day, the first hour. Dennis is caught up in the trade cave this morning, so I'm going to be going solo with today's shows. Starting out with the S&Ps, almost a 10-point range overnight, making a low at 1299 and a quarter, just under that $1,300 level. If that holds as the low of the day, we have an upside target of 1216.50. Globex high stands at 1308.75. If that holds as the high of the day, we have a downside target of 1291.50. Currently need to stay above this 1304 level. That was yesterday's high, as well as the mid-range for today's session. Moving on to the Big Ten. Our number one component, ExxonMobil, currently trading up 29 cents in the pre-market. Continuing its run that it's had since bottoming under $84 back at the end of last week. Resistance currently stands at 85.67, which we're currently trading above. That is the 10-day high. Above that, folks, see a little bit at 87, but our next major resistance level would be 87.5. In 88.13, which was our high, believe it or not, back on May 2nd. Let's use that 86.45 the close as support. Moving on to our next component, Apple Computer. What else can you say about Apple Computer except that it just is the world's strongest stock? Making new all-time highs yesterday at 429.47. Currently trading above that level, so we use that 429.47 down to 429.11, which was the close as support. Below that, folks, let's look to fill the gap down to Tuesday's high at 426. Where this stock stops on the upside is anybody's guess. Our third component, IBM, just does not want to participate in this rally, folks. It bottomed out at the 177.35 level last week. Has mounted a rally, has been unable to get through the $182 level. That was Tuesday's high, and despite a strong market yesterday, was only able to get to 181.60. Currently trading up 43 cents in the pre-market. Let's call that 182 major resistance. Above that level, you at least have a run up to the 5-day high at 182.81. Coming back on the downside, let's use the close, 181.07 as support. Moving on to our next component, Chevron Corporation, kind of acting similar to the ExxonMobil. Not really participating in the rally the first few days. Right now, has not traded above the close in the pre-market. Good formation to look at here, folks. You had the high and the close right in the same area. 106.94 was the high. You had yesterday's close at 106.83, and also Tuesday's close at 106.73. So if we can't bust out above that 107 level here early in the session, looking for a retreat back to Tuesday's low at 106.03. Coming on the upside, your major resistance after this 106.94, 107 level would be Tuesday's high at 107.98. Moving on to our next component, Microsoft, which is due to announce earnings later on today after having a monster rally here from under $24.50 up to over $28.50. Had a little bit pullback yesterday, snuck under the $28 level, not for very long. Look for some position squaring in this stock today ahead of the earnings. You had a lower high at 28.40. Yesterday, the major resistance is 28.65, which was Tuesday's high. If this thing can really get rocking and rolling to the upside, $29 looks like the next level. $28.99 was the high almost a year ago on January 26th. Coming back on the downside, let's use the close. 28.23 as minor support, and major support would be at Wednesday's low, 27.97. Let's call it 28 bucks. Well, GE gets its first close over $19 in months here, closing at 19.02. Good numbers on the upside for you here, folks. Currently, right where we're trading. 19.05 was Tuesday's high. 19.10 was Wednesday's high. A breakout above that 19.10 level could take us back to the July 22nd high of 19.53. Coming back on the downside, as long as we hold $19 here, folks, GE is still in a rally mode, and just a major support all the way from 18.50 to 18.56, which was Wednesday's low as well as our low from last week. Procter Gamble starting to recover a little bit. Remember that stock went ex-dividend yesterday, so that stock is trying to work its way back up to the close on that day, which was 66.26. Yesterday's high was 66.13. Look for resistance in that area as folks that held the stock through the dividend would be looking to get out even on that. Above that 66.26 level, you have Tuesday's high at 66.51, and the major resistance at the $67 level. As long as we hold the 66 level, folks, the stock will still be in a rally mode. Below that level, Wednesday's low, it's 65.82. Our next component, AT&T, just creeping its way up here to the 30.50 level. Currently trading up only a few cents in the pre-market, so we are going to be opening up into resistance. Wednesday's high at 30.35. Above that, Tuesday's high at 30.47. Have a little bit of size in the book there at 30.50. But the major resistance stands at the 10-day high of 30.68. Coming back on the downside, you'll find good support at Tuesdays and Wednesdays lows at 30.15 to 30.17. Our ninth component, JNJ, just having a real tight range here over the last few days. Every time we get up near that 65.5 level, we get a pullback. As long as this stock stays above the $65 level, which was Tuesday and Wednesday's lows, still in the rally mode. One thing of note here, folks, the last 6 closes in Johnson & Johnson have been between 65.12 and 65.28. If that's not the definition of consolidation, I don't know what is. So look for 65 even to 65.5 to be your range in J&J today. Moving on to our final component, Pfizer Corporation. After briefly getting above the $22 level on Tuesday, went right to $22 yesterday and pulled back. Closed right near the high there. Currently trading down 3 cents with the SPUs up 6 points, so a little bit of relative weakness in Pfizer here. Above that 22 level, folks, you have Tuesday's high at 22.17. I imagine there'll be some rough sledding going up between 22 and 22.17. Above that level, we're looking at 22.44, which was high way back in March of 2008. Coming back on the downside, major support looming at the 21.70 level, which was Friday's low, and Wednesday's low that got to 21.75. Well, folks, that's a wrap of the Big Ten. S&Ps just inching their way up towards the high of the day, which is currently 1308.75. Really don't see major resistance. A couple minor levels going up here, but 1317 and 1320, that entire area, which also coincides with our upside targets for the day, should be major resistance. Also, just staying above yesterday's high at 13.4 and a quarter, which is also mid-range, will be our minor support for this morning. That's a wrap of the S&Ps and the Big Ten. I'm going to take a quick break and be back with our market movers.